Hi YouTubers, it's Evanex, so anyway, talking about now something important about YouTube and the ad-friendly guidelines. So obviously I don't work for YouTube for the last damn time. Anyway, people might wonder, why do the ad-friendly guidelines exist in the first place? So people might say, with all the backlash from YouTube creators, how pissed off people are about the ad-friendly guidelines. Why do they even exist in the first place? And the simple answer is, to put in very simple terms, very quote-unquote simple terms, is the ad-friendly guidelines exist because it is to give advertisers, companies, corporations, the choice of what they want to advertise. So, in simple brief, you might have a choice as a creator to create a content that's full of swearing, full of violence, full of sexuality, full of provocative humor, but advertisers, corporations have choices also, because it's always a two-way street. It's always two sides of the coin. They always have a choice of what kind of content they want to advertise. So if an advertiser doesn't want to advertise this kind of content, they should not be forced to. And the idea behind the ad-friendly guidelines is, prior to, say, 2017, 2016, advertisers were kind of being forced into advertising very risque content. And most advertisers want similar content to TV. So they want similar profanity to what you would find on a TV show, similar to sexuality, what you would find in a TV show, etc., etc., pranks, challenges, so on and so on. So that's why advertisers just don't want you to sit there behind the computer screen, yelling the F word repeatedly, F word, F word, F word. So because they want their brand to feel comfortable, advertising your guidelines or your content. Your content. So that's the whole idea behind it. Is advertisers shouldn't be forced into advertising content they feel uncomfortable with. And there's certain guidelines, like okay, like some advertisers are going to feel comfortable with this kind of content, some won't. Some advertisers will always feel comfortable with this kind of content, this kind of crap, and it's a very complicated discussion. So it's something I simply can't do in one video. So it's a very detailed discussion. So but the whole idea behind it, the whole reason why there are, green light, yellow $sign, ad-friendly guidelines, limited ads, no ads, suitable for all ads, etc., etc., is to say, this is the kind of content that is safe for all ads, this is the kind of content that's safe for some ads, and this is the kind of content that's just not safe for ads, period. And then you get into age restrictions, all that kind of crap. So the whole idea behind it is, you never want to force a company, a corporation, a brand to be forced to advertise on something they might feel uncomfortable with. Take, sensitive events, for example. Most advertisers have made it very clear, very explicitly clear, they don't want to have anything to do with any kind of, sensitive or controversial subject. So, because they don't want to be associated with that kind of crap, and same goes for, very extreme profanity, slurs, N-word, bad slurs. Corporations have made it very clear that's the kind of words they want to stay clear of. They don't want to associate the brand with, because keep in mind, a company is never required to force their brand to advertise. Even with like music and CDs, you might think it's just YouTube, big ass YouTube, like the Big Ass Cigar, but it's actually all things in general. Like, I remember I was reading a article online that Eminem the rapper, he came out with a CD back in the year 2000, and there were certain lines that were censored off this CD, even the parental advisory version, because Interscope Records didn't want to put their name on the record because it was considered so controversial, because there was references to school shootings and references to child murder. So that's why, even though that it's completely freedom of speech, it's not illegal to make references to extremely controversial, subjects that might include references to murder, etc., etc. They were not comfortable putting their name on it. So in other words, a corporation should never be forced to do something they're not comfortable with. So they always have the right to opt out, quote unquote opt out. That's why you like for profanity, for example, if you put profanity, the F word, the word fuck, in the first 30 seconds of your video, you're likely to get limited ads, and only certain companies will feel okay with advertising that kind of content. Same thing with putting the F word, the word fuck, in the title or thumbnail, because even if it's just F and asterisks, a lot of corporations don't feel comfortable, or advertisers, sorry, I keep saying corporations, it's really advertisers, don't feel comfortable with advertising that kind of crap, that kind of shit. So that's the whole point, is it may be your choice to, and even YouTube said this back in like 2016, it's your choice to create really any kind of content as long as it follows our community guidelines, terms of service, terms of use, and copyright, etc., etc. But it's up to us to determine what kind of content advertisers feel comfortable with, and advertisers have made very clear we want light profanity in general, like damn and hell, or the F word, the word fuck after the opening, or we want minimal violence in video games, like your typical Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, Far Cry 3, etc., etc. We don't want content discussing sad, controversial, tragic issues like school shootings, mass shootings, stories of terrorism, etc., etc. So it's the same thing for any kind of advertisement or any kind of entrepreneurial, corporation, is they have the choice to opt out of certain types of bullshit. So, and I mean, believe me, sometimes BS is BS, but I mean, you have to understand from the corporation or advertisers' perspective that they may feel somewhat comfortable, somewhat not comfortable, and it's just certain things, excuse me, they're just big no-nos. Like, no company wants to be associated with somebody who's dropping the N-word for very good reasons. So, excuse me. And same thing with any, like I said before with that example I gave about the Eminem thing, Interscope Records just didn't feel comfortable putting their name associated with, Eminem, who was talking about, stories of child murder, or stories of, references to recent mass shootings. So, anyway, that's just the fact is, people have freedom of choice, freedom of opinion, and they have to be able to express that kind of shit. So that kind of bullshit. Anyway, bye.